Hello everyone, this is Luke from Luke's English Podcast. How are you doing? Hope you're doing well. There's no promo at the beginning of this, no jingle. It's just a very short message from me to you. I was sitting here working on some premium content that's going to be uploaded soon. And I'm just taking some time out from that just to record this quick message to you. Now, do you know what the date is today? Now, that's not why I'm recording this message. It's not because I need to know the date. Hey, everyone, what's the date, please? I know what date it is, but do you know? It's the 12th of April, 2019. Now, why is that day significant? You're probably going, I don't know. Is it Brexit? No. Brexit is not happening today, although it was going to happen today, but they've changed the date. And no, I don't understand it either, really. No, so it's nothing to do with Brexit. So what is it? I don't know. Just tell us, Luke. Just tell us what it is. Well, exactly 10 years ago, on the 12th of April 2009, I published the very first episode of Luke's English Podcast. So it's the 10th birthday of Luke's English Podcast today. 10 years of podcasting, a decade of the podcast. And I just wanted to say thank you to you, my listeners, for essentially, making that happen. Because if it wasn't for you, then I wouldn't have this podcast, right? Like, if no one listened to it, then it wouldn't exist, right? I wouldn't have got to 10 years. Now, 10 years is a milestone that's worth marking. But really, the main thing for me is that now, after 10 years, after having developed my audience to a certain level, I can now do this as my job, basically. I'm making a living from doing my podcast. It's become my occupation. It is actually the main thing that I do now. I'm still teaching part-time, but the main thing I'm doing is my podcast, and it helps me to put food on the table and pay the rent and all that stuff. It's basically it's making me a living through my sponsorships and my premium service. But essentially, the podcast has become a platform for me now, which allows me to do this as my job. And that's amazing, because I love doing this podcast. And it was always a sort of a distant dream that I would one day be able to do this podcast and make my living from doing it, because I don't know, not that many people get to do a thing that they really enjoy doing and make a living from it. So I feel like very lucky to be able to do this. And I think that, largely that's down to you. So thank you so much for listening to my podcast and making all of this possible. I'm just very happy there. So I hope you've been enjoying the podcast. From the messages that I receive, it seems like you're enjoying it. And it seems like it's been helping people with their English, which is obviously the whole point. So it's all great. So, thank you for listening to my podcast. And here's to another 10 years of the podcast. Okay? Nice one. That's it. I don't really know what else to say. I just wanted to let you know that it's 10 years today. So this is like the 10th birthday. Oh, another thing. Another milestone this year will be episode 600, which is coming up soon. I think I'm on episode 586 or 87. So in a few episodes' time, it will be episode 600. So I've been wondering what to do. And basically, I've decided that I'm going to do a YouTube live stream for episode 600. So I'll record a podcast while doing a live stream on YouTube, okay? I haven't actually decided what the date will be for that. And since it's in about 12 or 13 episodes from now, it's going to be probably a couple of months from now, okay? A couple of months in the summer sometime, June maybe. 2 months away. Luke, can you count that far? April, May, June. I think it'll probably be June. I don't really know. I can't see that far into the future. I'm not that organised or good at planning my life to be able to tell you exactly when it's going to be. But anyway, episode 600 will be a YouTube live stream. So pay attention to your email mailbox, because if you are a subscriber to the mailing list, I might send you an email with a date and a time and a link for the live stream for episode 600. I might mention it in an upcoming episode of the podcast. I might tell you. So basically, look out for the details of the date and time for the YouTube live stream. I've got people all around the world listening to this podcast. So obviously for some of you, you'll probably be in bed asleep while I'm doing the live stream. I'm sorry, I can't find the right time. It's going to be difficult to find the perfect time. But anyway, even if you can't attend the live stream, you'll be able to listen to the podcast episode, and you'll probably be able to watch the YouTube video of the live stream at a later date. So that's coming up. So just keep your eyes peeled and your ears open for the date and time for the YouTube live stream for episode 600, which is probably going to happen in a couple of months' time. Okay, and also you can start thinking of, I don't know, maybe questions and comments that you might want to ask me. It'll probably just be a rambling episode with some question and answer type stuff. It could be fun. I've never done a live stream before, so it's going to be an interesting... Well, I did a couple of periscopes in the past, but I've never really done a lot of YouTube lives. I've never done a YouTube live stream before, so it's going to be fun. So that's going to be episode 600. I'll tell you the date and time for it at a later date. Okay, that's it for this short message. I'm now going to go back to preparing my premium stuff. There might be a premium episode coming out later today, or maybe in the next couple of days. All right? But until then, I will speak to you again on the podcast soon. All right? Thanks again for listening. And goodbye. Bye.